Hey guys, welcome back to Woke.Ones.Revolution. Hope you've had a great weekend. Are you guys ready for the eclipse tomorrow? How have you guys been feeling? I tell you, I, for one, have been, it's almost unexplainable. This eclipse is actually happening on my ascendant, so it feels the weight's been really, really heavy. I've just had a hard time staying focused and stuff, so hence why it's been a minute since you guys have seen me. So my apologies, but kind of needed some me time, so I'm sure you guys understand. um, yeah, so April the 8th happened around 1:20 in the afternoon here where I'm at, Central Standard Time. It's happening at 19 degrees 24 minutes of Aries. That's really ushering in some karmic clearing, if you will. It's a new healing awakening happening, and it's happening for the collective. I'm really pretty excited. You know, we've been working on healing. We've been working on building towards and realizing our dreams as we step into Aries season. Happy birthday to all my Aries too, by the way. Well, this is like a collective conscious upgrade. I mean, this is huge. It's happening right across North America, from Texas pretty much all the way to Maine. It's We're looking at it bringing in new insights, with Chiron. Chiron's going to be pairing up with the sun and the moon as they eclipse. Chiron is, as we've talked about, the wounded healer. I think that this eclipse happening at this degree is really, it could be pretty triggering for some people, because as a collective, the sun and the moon are shedding light on things that have been repressed inside of us. And it does offer some profound healing opportunities. So I hope you guys are all welcome to it. In regards to this Aries new moon, I did want to mention, besides it just being a karmic awakening here, clearing, Aries is known for being quick to react. Mercury is also in Aries, albeit retrograde. Mercury went retrograde on April the 1st. No fooling. As this happens, it's going to be at 24 degrees going back, and kind of heading back towards that eclipse degree. It's going to be a few more days, obviously, before that happens, but he's going back to kind of clear some areas that need some tending to. The moon moves faster than the sun, so it's going to pass the sun, and it's going to be illuminating some things. And we've already been here before. Chiron's kind of been teetering on this degree for a while, so these inner turmoils that we're silently battling, and actually it's happening kind of everywhere. You see an uptake of rash actions being taken by people who aren't really, who are struggling with dealing with those inner turmoils. But I think that with, the moon passing over the sun and then Mercury retrograding back over the eclipse point, along with Chiron. I think it's calling on us to pay attention to those wounds. And it can help, Chiron can help heal. Although he's got the wound that will never heal, you know, he takes the lessons with it, and after using everything within himself to heal those things within himself, it makes him more susceptible to recognize others that are going through similar pains and patterns and all that. You know, so this does call for a renewal of self. Aries is all about autonomy, freedom, passions, pioneering, getting things going. It's definitely a renewal. I think that Chiron being here is a gateway to help aid that healing for the collective, and for that I'm pretty jazzed. Well, I'm kind of glancing over here at my notes. I've got a ton of them. It's kind of ridiculous. Kind of ridiculous. I've just been taking note over the week and kind of just putting pen to paper. Now, eclipses, you know, back in the day, the ancients, a lot of them didn't really know what an eclipse was. They didn't know if while the sudden it was getting dark and the sun disappeared, was it going to come back? You know, yes, it comes back. It comes back, and you know, it's a big sigh of relief. Now, eclipses can, a solar eclipse, you know, speaks to the sun, right? And the sun is father. The sun is elders. I mean, and the sun is life. And sometimes, you know, it could be a leader, maybe even somebody in your workplace that's in higher leadership, a sun can speak to. And sometimes these solar eclipses can eclipse said people out of those roles. And sometimes that can be an escape point for those figures to move on. It can also be Aries's head, okay? The ram, right? Aries can speak to heat, to fire. And so what I'm getting at this is, like, you may notice that, especially if you have heavy Aries or Mars placements, that some of you may start having headaches, and that's something I've kind of been battling. Random headaches out of nowhere, and they last. So you could feel hot, feverish. Be careful of accidents. You know, I mean, right now, Mars and Saturn are kind of conjoined together in Pisces. And, you know, so although Mars is really pretty darn fast, in the water, he slows down a bit, especially with Neptune in Pisces. Saturn is structure. Saturn, I think Saturn and Mars together, I think it's going to help. I mean, with the placements where Venus has already gone by there. She's moved into Aries now, by the way. Venus has passed by there, past Saturn, had her conjunction with him a little while back. And now it's time for the masculine. Mars is going through meeting up with Saturn. And, you know, Mars and Saturn together don't always get the best rap. But you know what? It's the Saturnian nature does have quite an impact on Mars while he's in Pisces. Gets him to slow down a little bit and go internalize some of what's driving him, helping him let go of old patterns and habits, sometimes people, situations that are no longer serving them. It can really help push changes in spiritual values. It makes him, it's a reflection, you know, he's back there looking in the mirror and working on doing his work to release some old belief systems and kind of have a more positive impact, kind of beef up a little bit, because Venus is up in Aries waiting on Mars. Well, she's not really waiting, she's still going forward. But bet when Mars crosses over into Aries, he's gonna be looking way more put together, let's put it that way. And yeah, so that's some good stuff here. But the solar eclipse, just be careful. You know, you might want to be careful, you know, not to overextend yourself. You know, we can tend to do that when it's Aries season. Go, 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 go until there's just nothing left to give. But yeah, just be careful of injuries. If you're not feeling well, please don't ignore it. It's a good time to kind of stay on top of your health and make sure you're getting plenty of rest if you need it. Just don't overdo it. Now, something else that we have coming up, in addition to the eclipse, is on April the 20th. Jupiter and Uranus are going to be making their conjunction over in Taurus at 21 degrees, 49 minutes. That is so once in a lifetime. I mean, it's been 84 years, I think. It was Jupiter and Uranus were last conjunct in Taurus in 1941. We're talking like World War II times. In the deep of it. It's those two energies together. I mean, Jupiter is the great benefic, right? Venus is another benefic, but Jupiter brings Jupiter's resources. Jupiter is wisdom. Jupiter is higher knowledge. Jupiter is very spiritual. Very spiritual. Combining up with Uranus, the lightning strike, the earthquake, the rebel. Uranus is that tower card in the tarot. It's cosmic mind. It's change, revolutionary change. And you never know what you're going to get with Jupiter and Uranus conjunct. That is a big old manifestation portal that I expect each and every one of you to be jumping on. And if you add it into the work that you've already been doing to build on that new life, that new dream that you are working so hard to manifest. 420, baby. 420. It's more than just what you think. You know, with that conjunction, so much can happen. I mean, it can cause chaos. You know, we're already seeing pre-solar eclipse, like earthquake up in New Jersey. They're feeling it in New York. Can't remember, what was it? Was it Taiwan? That just had a really massive earthquake. I mean, but things get, not that earthquakes are good, but, you know, with tower moments, Uranus combined, Jupiter expands anything that touches, right? So if it's paired up with Uranus, which is the change maker. Now, Uranus does have really good intentions. He just has wild intentions that nobody would ever expect, that are innovative and revolutionary. I mean, think Aquarius, because that's, you know, that's what Uranus rules. You know, I see this as being a major, it could be several major events that alter the worldview of things. Now, that's just, it's such a huge opportunity to manifest your wildest dreams. Really, I mean, you've got to put work into manifestation. It's not just going to come to you. You know, granted, people can have good luck, but, you know, I tell you what, in the realm of what I know with personal experience, if there's something that you have a soul urge for and you're doing and putting in the work, you're speaking as if it is already your experience, and just really driving and focusing your pattern or your passions towards, you know, those dreams, the universe loves that shit. It really does. And so, like, even in my personal life, man, I have been working and pushing and doing my best to know that no matter what happens, you know, the universe has got my back. Once I start putting in the effort towards what it is that I want, the universe is just like, with those experiences, lining you up with the right people. And I think that this eclipse, followed by Jupiter-Uranus conjunction on the 20th, it's like a second eclipse in itself. Like that, y'all check back with me come that time. Please share your share your news, share your story with me. I know that just alone, Jupiter and Uranus are going to be sextiling Pisces. Mars, there's just going to be forming that beautiful sexy tile, I like to call them, up to Pisces, hitting Mars, hitting Saturn, and even Neptune. Sextiling it, giving it smooth flow to help really amplify that healing and transforming within, to help usher in this solar eclipse energy and new beginning, because that's what it is. You know, I would just say here for this big grouping, of course, if you have sun, moon, rising, any personal point at 19, I'm going to say anywhere from probably like 15 to 23 degrees, 24, somewhere in there, you know, you're going to be feeling this. And this solar eclipse, there may be no big dramatic hoopla that happens on April the 8th. A solar eclipse like this lasts for quite some time. I mean, immediately within 6 months, I think that most of us are not even going to barely recognize the person we were even last year. I think if you got personal points there, it could be that intense, maybe in 6 months, but this energy can last up to a year. And with the totality being over 4 minutes here for us in the States, I really think that is going to extend a lot longer for us over here, at least. I'm excited by the sheer amount of healing that we're going to be seeing here. You know, for the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, same applies. You know, 21, I'm going to say anywhere from, if I want to give it even 17, 18 Taurus to 24, 25, 26 Taurus. Anything right there at 21. I'm going to say of any earth sign. Doesn't have to be Taurus, because it'll receive, you know, a trine if you go to any of the other earth signs at those degrees. But also like fixed signs, right? So if you look at the fixed signs, you're looking at, yeah, Taurus, yeah, obviously. Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. It'll be more personal for you guys if that conjunction makes any aspects to your natal planets or points. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Oh, I was just going to mention on that sextile, that basically, yeah, it's that sextile from the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is really integrating spiritual lessons to realize your dreams and bring them into the physical, which is Taurus, earth sign. Definitely bring things and get into full fruition mode there. Now, let's see. Oh, on the 20th also, I believe it is, Venus is going to be conjunct Chiron at the eclipse point of 19 degrees Aries. Chiron moves really slow. Trust that I know that. He's been trucking through my 12th house since like 2018, and he's been sitting on my 19-degree Aries rising for some time. I want to say it was last year, summer. Seems like it's been forever that it's been there. But Venus, you know, she's already met up with Saturn, met up with Neptune, had some sweet, beautiful, inspiring kisses over there. And she's going to be conjuncting up with Chiron. Now, this... how do I say it? It could stem, especially with like that eclipse point. Then you also got, like, at that point, I think Mercury will be back to 16 degrees, conjunct the North Node at 15 degrees Aries. So all of those things happening together, I think, can make Venus feel wounded in the sense of like feeling like she's not good enough. And remember, when I say she, he, that's just so you can conceptualize it a little bit. But energies are energies. We all have divine masculine and divine feminine in us, so please take no offense. But Venus conjunct Chiron at the Aries point can trigger that. fear of rejection. It can affect her self-worth. Aries vibes, if you take the positive of what this is. I mean, Chiron is not just a healer. He is a teacher. And I think that him doing all the work that he's been doing, he's going to help give Venus strength. He's going to show her how to turn those fears that she has into bravery. He's going to help her realize that she's good enough. Help reinstill some confidence. So, there's just blessed love. I mean, the universe is glittering on us, baby. I don't know what else to say. But I do, this time definitely you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. And if you've got some stuff that keeps creeping back up on you, Lord knows I do, right? We all do. We're human. You don't have to admit anything to anybody, but damn it, admit it to yourself and get a hold of that shit. That shit, what's that Offspring song? She's got baggage and it's all the emotional kind. I know that's horrible, horrible cliche. No offense to anybody, but really, when we have that, and especially, I know that not everybody is partnered up, that listens to me, listens to my spills, but, if you are looking for somebody new, or if this, lunar eclipse brought you an ending in a relationship, please do yourself a favor, and whatever fun times that you're having, please don't let them get diluted. Mars is still up there by Saturn doing his emotional work, and with all this work with Chiron, you do have to, you can't manifest what you want if you're still in a place of denial. If you have a mindset that everybody's going to hurt you and blah blah blah, and everybody is a cheater and everybody is a this and everybody is a that, having that kind of mindset, when it comes especially to manifesting, it's as within, so without. So by projecting those kind of things out, you're actually asking, begging the universe to bring you more of it. So, I ask you guys to trust, trust that you can get through these times. I know they're a bit uncertain and it seems overbearing and overwhelming. That's why I say take that rest if you feel like you need it. Take it. There comes a point where you've got to take that time out for yourself, and address the things that you've been avoiding. No, it's not easy. If you do need some help, you can always reach out to me for a consultation. Been finishing up my website and calendar and booking stuff so that, you guys can start booking readings with me. And, yeah, so that's what I've been working on. Excuse me just a second. Now, I'll tell you something really cool, right? So, I was looking at the Sabian symbol for the solar eclipse. 19 Aries. Magic carpet. And I put magic carpet ride. I love it. I love it. So, keywords: panorama and inquisitiveness. So, One of the Sabian symbols interpretations that I looked up said, a magic carpet hovers over the depressing reality of everyday life in an industrial area. So just imagine that, okay? That magic carpet, imagine getting on it, and hovering, rising up over the bullshit, escaping, but it only goes this way or that way, right? But that's where the panorama comes in, right? You can get a panoramic view of the situations around you. You get to see all the perspectives that are adding to the story. And it can really, it basically calls you to go to a meditative state almost. Escape reality for a bit, so that you can go within and basically have an unbroken view of all the possibilities. Power, it speaks to the power of progressive thinking to elevate consciousness above confronting situations. It's like a free spirit transforming perspectives up to a higher dimension, basically. This is the exalted point of the sun. I think I mentioned that in my last video. 19 degrees is the exaltation point for the sun. Doesn't make it like, it's not bad, but it can really amplify. It like is the most potent by exaltation when I say that. But it is it's almost damn near promising a brand new beginning, basically. So you get that choice. At 19 degrees, where are you hovering? What are you getting that? Where's that treasure that you've unearthed? The 19 degree of Aries in the Sabian symbol, when I was reading through a lot of different interpretations of it, it basically is like the degree of a diamond in the rough. It's engaging in mining activities. And it doesn't necessarily mean mining gold or gems, which I think that would be a really cool experience to be able to go do that shit, right? And who's coming with me? Ready? But it can speak to mining possibilities that nobody's ever thought of or seen. It's revolutionary. It's innovative. You get to rise above ordinary perception when you're on that magic carpet ride, right? And yet, when you're getting this bigger perspective, you're not emotionally attached to it because you're not in it at that point. You're looking at all views, right? All sides. So it has a sense of detachment to it, but it is it's a compassionate degree. Forgiving, which Aries can be pretty forgiving. They get really mad and then they're over it, right? For the most part. But it's this eclipse of this degree with Chiron is like giving us full-on permission to use our imagination to expand on our destiny. It's that huge. And I just implore you, this time does call for you to really, you can miss out on it. Stuff's going to happen to you or the people around you regardless. That's just how eclipses work. But I will tell you that we're in for some really, astrologically, no matter what my perspective. We're in for some really massive changes this year and, next year. But this year's big. I mean, April, this month alone, is huge. And it is a huge manifesting portal. It really is. If you've been sitting on something, if you've been sitting on it, now we're in Mercury retrograde, but after the 25th, I believe that it is, it goes out of retrograde and stations direct. Granted, it's going to have a couple more weeks of shadow, but don't let that hold you back. I mean, Mercury retrogrades, I'm sure all of you have heard about it, Mercury Gatorade or whatever, all the memes about it. But truth is, it happens several times a year. Some people are more affected than others. Those that are highly mercurial, for one, like Virgos and Geminis, they tend to be hit harder with them. But you got to realize there's a lot of people in this world born with Mercury retrograde. And for them, when Mercury goes retrograde, it's like their light switches flip back on and they're normal. And everybody else is going crazy, right? Don't let it stop you, but just know that any major, launches or any contracts or anything you have going on, just make sure you understand that you're probably going to have some redos. Retrogrades call for reevaluation, reassessing, redoing, reflecting, right? So there's some dates for you to go on, if you're wondering or waiting to do something. Mercury retrograde's up on the 25th. Then, a couple weeks of shadow and you're good to go. But if be selfish a little bit with this time, okay? You could have everybody just pulling at you every which way, needing your help for this, that, or the other thing. And, I just ask you to take some time, even if it's laying at bed at night and speaking your intentions through your thoughts as you lay and pray, but you've got to start working things into action. And I guarantee you, any effort that you put in right now is definitely going to be rewarded. So stick with it. You've got this. Healing is a never-ending deal. I don't want to hear, it breaks my heart when I hear people go, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm sad, and all of that. But when you put that out, and everybody has feelings, I'm not dismissing them at all. Maybe it's because I do have 19 degrees Aries rising, that I can get up on that magic carpet and detach from, the emotional side that I can so easily cling to try to help explain ways to innovate your healing a bit, and expand your manifesting game. You're not sick, you're healing, You're not wounded, you're mending. You're healing, It's just slight little changes in the way that you speak of your temple to the universe and God, the gods, the planets, I could go on for hours about manifesting, but quite frankly, my dears, I don't have all night. I got to get to bed, but I will throw down some cards. So I'm going to pause here and get set up. If you haven't already, please like my video if you like it. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I see a ton of people like liking and watching and then not subscribing. So I'm like, talk to me. Tell me what's going on. What do you want to see more of from me? What do you not want to see from me? You know, I'm new. I'm learning. I'm open to feedback. You know, I know it's all for the best. So, anyhow, but yeah, I'm working on my, getting my booking calendar done. I've been hitting technical roadblocks, and with, me being a Virgo, I've kind of learned that when Mercury retrograde comes around, just avoid technology. Like, swear, if I go to the store, I like just being present messes up all their computers and stuff. I don't even know. But anywho, well, let's throw down, shall we?